Bangladesh's Prime Minister Tarique Rahman was expected to make his first official trip to India this month. India wanted it to be memorable. Now the visit has been put on hold and no one is saying when it might happen. At the center of this diplomatic row is Bangladesh's former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, who has been living in India since she was removed from power in 2024.
Demands the resignation of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina.
The latest trouble began on August 5th when Hasina addressed a virtual press conference at the Foreign Correspondents Club in New Delhi.
Whatever fate awaits me, I will return to my people. I cannot stay away while my beloved countrymen are suffering. I know I may be detained, I may be sent to prison. They may try to enforce verdicts issued in fabricated cases, but fear cannot decide my duty to the people. My life moved beyond calculations of personal safety long ago.
The date marked 2 years since the student-led uprising forced her to leave Bangladesh. India says it had nothing to do with the event. Bangladesh is still furious that it happened on Indian soil.
The interaction that you are referring to is being organized by a private media entity. The government has no involvement whatsoever in it. Neither does it endorse any views that may be expressed at the forum.
Dhaka says Hasina's appearance damaged the atmosphere ahead of Rahman's planned visit. Officials from both countries have been discussing the trip for several weeks, but Bangladesh says the right conditions have to be created first. So this is about much more than one press conference. It is part of a wider argument over Hasina's presence in India, her possible extradition, and the kind of relationship the two countries will now have. For now, India had a particularly close relationship with Hasina's government, but that relationship became increasingly unpopular in Bangladesh. Many Bangladeshis felt New Delhi was backing Hasina even as her government became more authoritarian. That anger did not disappear when she fled the country. If anything, her exile in India has made the issue even more sensitive. Bangladesh wants Hasina sent back to face a death sentence handed down in absentia in November 2025. The two countries have an extradition treaty, and India says it is considering the request through the proper process. But the treaty also allows exceptions in political cases. That means India could argue that the case against Hasina is political and refuse to extradite her. For Dhaka, India's decision to host Hasina is already a problem. Allowing her to continue making political statements from there has made it worse. During the August 5th press conference, Hasina said she would return to Bangladesh.
Whatever fate awaits me, I will return to my people.
Dhaka sees speeches like this as interference in its internal affairs. It has again called on India to extradite Hasina and other people it describes as fugitives. Rahman's government is also trying to make clear that its foreign policy will be different from Hasina's.
Bangladesh and India have been in touch with each other for several weeks on the possibility of a bilateral visit by Honorable Prime Minister Mr. Tarique Rahman to India. However, this process was vitiated by the open press interaction in New Delhi on 5th of August by Sheikh Hasina, who has been convicted by the International Crimes Tribunal for committing crimes against humanity. We have made our position clear on this matter. We are of the view that a propitious environment needs to be created for this visit. To this end, we have requested the Indian authorities to expeditiously act on our request to extradite Sheikh Hasina and other fugitive criminals, and to hand over Bangladesh the accused killers of Shahid Sharif Usman Hadi in compliance with our bilateral extradition treaty. We are awaiting their response. We reiterate that we will continue to pursue our Bangladesh First policy to promote friendly bilateral relations with other countries, including our neighbors, on the basis of sovereign equality, national dignity, non-interference in each other's internal affairs, and mutual benefit.
Its message is Bangladesh first. In practice, that means Dhaka wants its relationship with India to be based on what it calls sovereign equality, national dignity, and non-interference. Rahman's foreign affairs advisor, Humayun Kabir, says Bangladesh is in no hurry to arrange the visit. He says Dhaka first wants to understand what kind of relationship India wants with the new government.
একটা ওয়ার্কিং রিলেশনশিপ থাকবে, কিন্তু আমাদের ন্যাশনাল ইন্টারেস্টকে শুধু ভারত না কোনো দেশের সাথে ন্যাশনাল ইন্টারেস্ট কম্প্রোমাইজ করে তো আমরা কিছু করতে পারি না। ওয়েন আওয়ার ন্যাশনাল ইন্টারেস্টের ভিত্তিতে এটা আমরা কনসেনসাস আমরা আসবো, উই ক্যান ভিজিট ভারত। যদি কালকের ভিতরে আমরা একটা ইয়ে পারি, উই ক্যান ডু ইট নেক্সট উইক, উই ক্যান ভিজিট নেক্সট উইক অর দ্য উইক আফটার। এখানে কোনো রাশ নাই, এখানে আলাপ আলোচনার বিষয় আছে, এখানে গ্রাউন্ড ওয়ার্ক করার বিষয় আছে। একটা প্রাইম মিনিস্টার টু প্রাইম মিনিস্টার ভিজিট তো আর হইতে পারে না যে আসিয়া আমি এটা তো ইটস নট আ গেম প্লে। এখানে তো দুই হেডস অফ গভর্নমেন্ট উইল মিট, দেয়ার নিডস টু বি সাম গ্রাউন্ড ওয়ার্ক। সো উই আর ডুইং দ্যাট, দ্যাট ইজ গুড উইল, গুড জেস্টার্স দ্যাট ইন্ডিয়া থেকেও আসছে, আপনারা দেখছেন যে দে হ্যাভ অ্যাকনলেজ দ্যাট দি সেন্টিমেন্ট বাংলাদেশের মানুষের এই পলাতক সন্ত্রাসী শেখ হাসিনার এই প্রেস কনফারেন্সের মাধ্যমে মানুষের সেন্টিমেন্ট হার্ট করেছে 5th August, and they note that, they noted that. It's a good start. এখন দেখি বাকি আলোচনা প্রোগ্রেস হোক, এবং আলোচনার ভিত্তিতে আমাদের ন্যাশনাল ইন্টারেস্টের ভিত্তিতে আমরা অবশ্যই যাব যখন the time is right.
India, meanwhile, is urging Bangladesh not to let past disputes bring the relationship to a standstill. New Delhi recently appointed Dinesh Trivedi as its envoy to Dhaka. Trivedi is a former minister and a member of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's BJP, making his appointment to the diplomatic post unusual. He has told Bangladesh not to forget the past, but to resolve its differences with India and move forward.
That we have lot of respect, we have lot of affection, and we have lot of need with a neighbor, and our policy is neighborhood first. We have all gone through hiccups here and then. I think that's quite natural. That also happens in a family. But that doesn't mean that we move away. Like I said, that we have shared history.
India's Foreign Minister Subramanyam Jaishankar has already said the relationship must work for both countries. But agreeing on what that means will not be easy.
What I can tell you is, for any relationship to work, it has to meet the test of mutual interest. It has to work for them, it has to work for us. I'm also realistic. I'm not expecting neighbors to only do what's in my interest. There has to be a fair degree of, a reasonable degree of, my recognizing and respecting what is their interest, just as I expect them also to do so. It is when you get that landing point, that common ground, that relationships work smoothly.
India is watching Bangladesh build closer relations with Pakistan after decades of tensions between Dhaka and Islamabad. That shift matters to New Delhi. India supported Bangladesh's independence from Pakistan in 1971 and has long viewed Dhaka as one of its closest partners in the region. But the political mood in Bangladesh has changed. Rahman's government is broadening its relationship with Pakistan, China, and the United States. It does not want to be seen as automatically following India's lead. This is not simply a foreign policy decision, it also reflects public opinion inside Bangladesh. Many Bangladeshis believe the relationship with India became too unequal under Hasina. Rahman now faces pressure to show that he will take a firmer position. At the same time, tensions have been building along the country's 4,096-kilometer border. India's efforts to fence the border have caused repeated disputes. Comments about Bangladesh by members of India's Hindu nationalist government have also fueled resentment. Then, there's the question of migration. India has been deporting people it describes as undocumented Bangladeshi immigrants. Bangladesh accuses India of pushing people across the border without first confirming their nationality through diplomatic channels. So when Hasina appeared at that press conference in New Delhi, it landed on top of several unresolved problems. But despite all this, neither country can simply walk away. India and Bangladesh share one of the longest land borders in the world. They're connected through trade, transport, rivers, energy, and regional security. A breakdown in ties would hurt both sides. India would lose influence in a country that is becoming closer to Pakistan and China. Bangladesh would risk damaging an important economic and geographic relationship. And yet, India can no longer assume that Bangladesh will offer the same political support it received from Hasina's government. And Dhaka cannot expect its disputes with New Delhi to disappear simply by delaying a visit. For now, Rahman's trip remains uncertain. Whether it is rescheduled will depend on two questions that neither side has resolved. What will India do about Sheikh Hasina? And can it build a relationship with Bangladesh that wants much more distance from New Delhi than it did before?